Hello, I'm the Shadow Critic, and today I'm debunking AOC's pro-abortion argument. So, we all know AOC isn't exactly a nuclear physicist. In fact, I'm fairly certain that she wouldn't be able to enjoy an episode of Barney the Dinosaur because she would find the plot to be too complex.
Oh, it's me, Barney the Dinosaur. I love everyone, but even I think AOC is stupid.
So AOC made an argument in favour of abortion, and I'm really curious to see what it is, because I can't think of a single morally sound argument in favour of murdering babies. I can't think of one. But who knows, maybe AOC has a good reason to murder babies. So let's see what she has to say.
For people who say, oh, but you're harming a life, I believe this is life. Well, some religions don't. So how about that? Our Jewish brothers and sisters, they are able to have an abortion according to their faith. There are so many faiths that do not have the same definition of life as fundamentalist Christians. And so what about their rights? What about their right to exercise their faith? It's ridiculous. And it is theocratic. It's authoritarian. It is wrong.
Wow. That was almost impressively moronic. I'm almost impressed at the amount of logical fallacies, ignorance, and hypocrisy she manages to fit into one video. How does she do it? First of all, I should point out that most serious pro-lifers don't use religious arguments against abortion. We use completely secular scientific arguments against abortion. For example, the fetal heartbeat, the baby's reaction to external stimuli, such as the mother's voice while it's inside the womb, and the presence of a completely unique DNA code distinct from the DNA code of the mother's and the father's, created at the moment of conception. These are all scientific, secular arguments against abortion. Notice how I haven't invoked God or the Bible or any of that stuff in my arguments. I've been making completely secular arguments. The arguments I have listed are completely secular. Nonetheless, if AOC really wants to use this ridiculous religious argument, I should examine it to see if it holds up to logic and reason. AOC has a pretty straightforward argument. Essentially, it boils down to this. Premise 1. Abortion is an issue that is related to an individual's religion. Premise 2. There are many different religions that teach many different things. Premise 3. It's wrong to legalize morality based on one's personal religious beliefs. Conclusion. Therefore, it's wrong to make abortion illegal. However, only premise 2, the one that says there are many different religions that teach many different things, is true. Both of the other premises and the conclusion are wrong. Let's begin this debunk. First of all, abortion is not a religious issue. It is a scientific issue. The question of when life begins can be determined by science alone. We can use science to observe a fetus growing inside of its mother's womb. We can also use science to discover that the fetus is alive and that it is a human being. We can discover all of this using pure science. This is why there are some atheists who oppose abortion. If abortion was a religious issue, there would be no atheists that oppose it because they don't believe in God, and therefore they don't have a religious objection. But it's a scientific issue, which is why there are some atheists who oppose it. There would be no pro-life atheists if it were just a religious issue. But it isn't. It's a scientific question, which is why there are pro-life atheists. As I've already said, premise 2 is correct. That was the premise that there are many different religions and they all teach different things. I've already said that premise is correct, so we don't need to examine it. Let's move on to premise 3. In premise 3, AOC argues that it's wrong to legalize your own personal morality. This premise is blatantly incorrect. Everyone, every Jew, Muslim, Christian, Hindu or atheist legalizes their own personal morality. All of us do it, including AOC. In fact, that's literally what the law is. It's us codifying out our moral beliefs. For example, if you wanted to pass a law that said it's wrong for men to rape women, that's because you have a moral belief that rape is wrong. That wasn't something you discovered by science, that's a moral belief you hold. Virtually all laws are codified moral beliefs. In fact, in the West, many of our most important laws are based on the Judeo-Christian belief system and the Ten Commandments. So if you're grateful that in the West, theft, murder and rape are illegal, you can thank God-fearing Christian men who codified their religious beliefs into law. This brings us to the conclusion of AOC's argument, that making abortion illegal is wrong. But this conclusion is already debunked by extension of the previous premises being debunked. I would also love to point out how hilariously ironic it is that AOC calls Jewish women her sisters when she's best friends with Ilhan Omar, a raging anti-Semite. Ilhan Omar hates Jewish people. She wants to destroy the state of Israel. So AOC, how do you explain that one to your Jewish sisters? For AOC, the victim of her genocidal desires are the innocent and defenseless babies growing inside of their mother's wombs. I find it horrifying that normal-looking people can support such heinous and genocidal crimes. I'm disgusted by the thought that AOC is using such dishonest and manipulative arguments to convince women into murdering their babies. I guess this is how the Nazis got started. They managed to convince normal people that genocide is okay by use of dishonest arguments. But the truth is, the question of when does life begin isn't a religious argument. It's a scientific argument. And the science is clear. Life begins in the womb at the moment of conception. This may be science, but it isn't rocket science. If you would like to help me produce more videos like this, in which I debunk other famous people making arguments in favour for abortion, then feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want, and you can also share the video. Well, I'm the Shadow Critic, and I gotta go. Fuck!